Well, first of all, I'm very happy that you joined that tokenomics session and not the AI summit, which is over there. I was very surprised seeing an AI summit at the Web3 conference, so glad that you stick to the topic. My first question, before I actually guide you through the slides I have with me, is about your background. So please, hands up. Who of you is working in a Web3 startup? Just hands up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 probably. Okay, perfect. Who's working in a traditional corporation? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8, 9. Okay, that's 15 people. We need to talk about after this 15 minutes. So just make sure that we either collect a link in or talk about it later. And the rest is then working for consultancies and agencies. Put your hands up. Who's working for a consultancy or agency? Okay, so that's interesting. For those who haven't turned around their head, I would roughly say 1/3 was Web3 startups, 1/3 consultancies and agencies, or actually probably 20%, and then half of the audience is actually working within corporates. Corporate's actually my personal background. So my journey with the whole topic of Web3 started in 2017 when I was still working at HI. And actually, I had the chance to talk about the token economy in 2017 at the Baden-Badener Unternehmergespräche. I don't know if you are familiar with that. It's a gathering of the top shots of German's big industry. And I had the chance to present there for 2 hours. About the topic and why I also 6 years ago believed that the way we do our business will transform fundamentally. The interesting aspect was this was the most embarrassing talk I ever had. It was literally all those top managers sitting in the audience looking at me and just really thinking that I'm just talking about crazy stuff, that nothing of that will ever be relevant for their life. And interestingly, if I fast forward to the year of 2023, within my role at HI, we launched a program. It's called Web3 Pioneers. That's why we always have it on those slides here, where we convinced 15 big corporates to join that Web3 program. So we have Trumpf, Bosch, we have from the real estate sector, with the media sector in there, the pharmaceutical sector, logistic company like Schenker. So we were able to convince those people. So why I am still so super bullish about Web3 is because I experienced that firsthand. 6 years between the most embarrassing keynote until convincing top shot corporates in Germany to join that network. And I really believe we're just at the start of that. Aside from that, as I said, I'm absolutely a big fan of that topic. On a personal side note, I started investing, obviously in crypto in 2017, within the ICO hype. Then 2-3 years later, when the next bull market came, I wanted to invest in any kind of crypto ETF, funds, etc. And as nothing was there, I decided to build my own vehicle. So Crypto Index 25 is an own financial product which I launched at the market. It's an equal weight index, which always have the big 25 crypto coins in there. So as a private person, I'm also a big believer in that what we're building there, because I actually, and this is not a recommendation, I actually sold all my stocks and all my money is into crypto still. So I'm a big believer of what's happening. Before I talk about more operational stuff of tokenomics, I really want to zoom out. And I promise you, after that slides, I'm going deeper in. But what is currently changing there? When I went to university and learned economics and studied economics, everyone was talking about economy of scale. This is the concept which I was treated in university. People said, well, you always need to make sure that you have more of the same in order to reduce your unit cost. This is why companies bought more companies, just become bigger and bigger. Then when I entered the corporate life, and at that time I was working for Lufthansa, I was the assistant to the CEO of Lufthansa and then working in the strategy department there, I realized that something else was coming up. And I bet you all know these examples of platform companies, Airbnb being a company without having hotels, etc., etc. All those slides in the last 10 years on stages. But the interesting thing was, the concept of how you do business actually completely changed. Because with Airbnb, it was not about size, it was about network effects. It was about facilitation of supply and demand. And that is a completely different concept of doing business. And I personally believe that this obviously is not over. The platform industry is heavily hitting the B2B space currently. So it's not over, it's still today, and it will last probably another 5 or 10 years or whatsoever. But The same as probably in the year of 2000, there were people understanding that the way we do business will change. This is when social networks were founded, etc., etc. And none of us really knew which company will survive, but you were able to describe how that next chapter of business might actually work. And I think we're exactly on the same point than we've been 20 years ago, that there is now a different economy which we can describe. We have no clue which company actually survives, who will be the winner, when it really takes off. We all don't know this, but we are able to describe the system and the value creation. And it's a system of decentralization and transparency. And the biggest value creation, this is why I want to talk about token and tokenomics today, is the incentivation. The way how you incentivize every single person who takes part in business will completely change. And this is why in the next remaining 10 minutes, I want to talk about the token economy, because I really believe it's a different way of doing business. And also very important, as most of you who are invested in crypto might suffer 80% or even 90% losses in terms of your NFT values or your coin value or whatsoever. If you look behind the curtain, so many great stuff is being built. And we are very close. I would even progress that. And next year, we are reaching all-time highs again. And if you just take Ethereum as an example, because you have all the historical data, you see the smart contracts being created. So I would say how much it actually is used. And you see the low in 2021 is way behind. We're on a rising scale again. If you look at active Ethereum deployers, so actually coders, people working in that space, it's again increasing a lot. And the actual transaction on the blockchain are also creating. So if you look at this picture, it really shows that there is great stuff being built in a bear market. I really believe we are not in doom market. Web3 is not over. Token economy is not over. And the big corporates are actually proving that we're not talking about marketing showcases. Those are examples that, where I believe, are really great adoption examples. I think in terms of Starbucks, you have heard about the example that Starbucks actually put their stamp system, their loyalty system on the blockchain. They use Polygon for that. It's in an alpha. Who want to actually use it, just download it, really inform yourself, because I believe the way they redefine loyalty is cutting edge and leading for so many B2C companies right now. Asset tokenization. Siemens, they just issued a digital bond for 60 million euros, and they use the blockchain technology for several reasons to do so. Crypto payments. Google just allowed that they will integrate crypto payments via Coinbase Commerce. And this is not about paying your Google bill with Bitcoin. It's not actually about paying with Bitcoin. It is about, we just heard a great speech about stable coins. It is about paying with stable coins. Why make it a difference? Because you have much lower transaction costs than using your actual credit card transaction using Visa and MasterCard. And this is all happening. And Henning and we just spoke to Coinbase. It's obviously, yes, they haven't had contracts with like hundreds of big corporates, but it's starting. It's starting. And goes all the way with the other examples on those slides. So I really believe the fundamental concept of tokenization can be explained in that picture. Because we all have physical assets in the world. We have material objects that have limited liquidity, and you can think about your car or your house or whatsoever, your luxury equipment, whatever it is. It is physical, it is there, but you can't trade it, and you can't divide it. I just can't sell you a portion of my house or a portion of my car or of my artwork or whatsoever. But this is actually possible on the digital asset. And we know that we can share bits and pieces with each other. But through the tokenization, you get the link between those with absolutely reduced transaction costs. I think this is super, super important to understand. It's not something just nice there. It's actually the bridge between all the physical assets we have and the way how you can actually trade and treat them in the digital world. And that really means you have that 24-hour tradability of whatever asset you think of. You have fractional ownerships. It is a fraction of a car, of a house, of a jewelry, of whatsoever. And very, very important when we talk about tokens and then NFTs, obviously we can talk about features and token permissions, etc. So this is tokenization, but then why is that leading to a different economic system because value is created in a different way. Because it's very easy, you have a platform or a company who issues the token. But the fundamental thing is, based on the usage of that token, again, the value of the token itself is changed and is influenced. And this means that the drivers of value, and I mean, doing business is about value creation. The drivers of the token economy obviously are still supply and demand. This is something we know from the past. Whenever something is rare and more people want it, and less people are selling it, obviously the price will increase. This is old stuff. The blockchain and product utilization, you can say, okay, it's the same with the today's platform economy, only if the underlying technology works, only if the cloud search, etc., use some anchor technologies, only if they really work, the token economy will go up. But the really new things are the incentives, and I'm not going to do the deep dive on staking and voting right now, but this drives value and the token distribution itself. So I believe these are the 4 things you really have to monitor to understand how value is created in the new economic world. I skipped those questions and just end with 2 more slides. It's not a given, as I said. There are still significant challenges. So there are 3 reasons here why the token economy could actually fail or will fail. Obviously, lack of acceptance. Same with every new technology, if we just do not make it as easy that the end user has no clue that they're using Web3 technology, it will fail. I'm pretty sure. Second, legal and regulatory hurdles. The SEC, I mean, I'm sure you've heard all the news in the last probably 6 weeks or even 6 months. That is a big, big threat to the whole token economy. And we just heard the deep dives on the stable coins. Obviously, not all technological challenges are solved right now. So those are 3 reasons why it could fail. But what are the reasons why I personally believe that the token economy will actually take over the platform economy? This is, I believe, the fundamental trend of mankind, and I put it that big, to go in through a democratized and decentralized world will be the biggest driver for the token economy, and I believe it's kind of unstoppable. Then the topic that we're not talking about closed systems, but about interoperability is one of the biggest driver, and the scalability and efficiency of the fractional ownership, the ability to share a single piece of any real asset out there. I think we have no clue to what kind of operations and transaction that might lead. And this is why I believe that value creation really becomes visible in real time. And I'll give you one just easy to understand example. In the old world, when Amazon Web Services launched, or when Amazon launched Amazon Web Services, they had an internal success. And I would say it took roughly 6 to probably 9 months until we as a public understood that the company Amazon launched a new product. Because of what is happening. You have quarterly reports. So at one point in time, they reported to the analysts, hey, we have launched a product and we actually have product market fit. Then there's an analyst valuation, and then the price at the stock exchange of Amazon might actually increase. So from actual product success to transparent value increasement, 6 to 9 months. I take the Starbucks example. Starbucks is using Polygon for their loyalty system. And without going into detail, every time when they have a transaction there, they need to purchase Polygon tokens, which means the more successful the actual usage of the new Starbucks loyalty system, then instantly it increases the demand for Polygon tokens. And as you can trade Polygon tokens 24/7 in real time, and as you can do on-chain analysis, there is no time gap. So if Henning, I just put you because I know that you're using the Starbucks loyalty app as one of their beta users, he will have a fraction of an impact of the immediate demand for the used blockchain in that respect, Polygon. And this is completely new. It will also completely take out the amount of work analysts are doing right now because we don't need that translation anymore. And as we all know how big the financial industry is, I also believe that this will be a big, big driver. So I have 20 seconds left on that slide. So this is why my last word is, if you're interested about that topic and trying to convince your boss or your boss or the board members or the owners of the company that you should regardless of the big topic of AI and the AI summit, that Web3 might not be the most important topic right now, and Web3 might not be the most urgent topic right now. But it is something where I really believe if you are in business, you better be prepared. And that is why we launched that community. As you can see, we already were able to sign up a few big names. And if you want to join the conversation, then please talk to Henning or myself. My time is over. Thanks for attention. I'm going to be here the whole day. Thanks a lot.